How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Embrace sculpture that was unveiled in Boston. Now, this sculpture is supposed to be of Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta Scott King, during civil rights. They were celebrating a monumentous moment. It might have been right when civil rights got passed in 1964. If I'm wrong about that, y'all let me know in the comments below. So they're embracing each other. They're hugging each other. It's supposed to represent that, but you're not going to know that just by looking at it. You're going to have no idea. And as a matter of fact, if you have no context, you're just coming into it cold, you don't really know what's going on. Now, you saw the opening video of the sculpture's unveiling, but check out this angle of it. Now, what in the world is this? I mean, okay, look, I understand this could be taken a lot of different ways. I'm not trying to be gross here. I'm just saying this is a sculpture. Okay, that's a sculpture. So you're going to see that. So it's just a matter of time before you see something like that and you're like, hey, what's going on there? I'm here to tell you it's not anything nasty or gross, or it's not supposed to be, allegedly. This is the Embrace, okay, with no heads or anything on top of it, so you don't know it's supposed to be two people hugging. From this angle, you can't really tell what it is. And before I go any further, let's roll this news clip. If you want to see more of the sculpture and this clip, of course, the links will be in the description. If you're on IG, please go to the link in the bio, go to my website, and go to the corresponding article. But let's go ahead and roll it.
About racial and social justice in the city today. The Embrace honors the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther.
I mean, even in this angle right here, you can't really tell what's going on. It looks kind of like if you ever played a game called Death Stranding, a bunch of hands coming from the ground trying to grab you and take you under. Like, that's kind of what that looks like right there. It does not look it looks kind of scary, quite frankly.
Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King and the love they built right here in Boston.
I feel hopeful and inspired.
I feel affirmed.
The 20-foot tall and 25-foot wide bronze sculpture depicts the embrace between Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King.
Now, from this angle right here, it looks like somebody's trying to shield themselves from falling debris, like in a hurricane or a tornado or something like that. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So, I mean, from different angles, you see different things. If you did not know this was a picture right here on the right-hand side of the screen that it was based on, you would not be able to make that connection. You would not see that just going into it completely ignorant of the situation and be like, hey, you know what that looks like? That looks like Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta Scott King, embracing in 1964. You would have no idea, but let's go ahead and keep on going.
After he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964.
I've never felt this sense of joy and excitement from people all over the place.
The work of art, aptly titled The Embrace, shines a light on the power of collective action and the role of women as leaders.
Women?
Dr. and Mrs. King's 14-year-old granddaughter reflecting on the power of love.
This is almost like Love 360 because this monument is dedicated to their love, and we really need more love in this world.
Standing side by side with the architects who helped bring the Embrace to life, artist Hank Willis.
So that's him right there. I think Hank Willis right there, that's the guy on the far right. I think he's the guy that actually designed it.
Thomas says the sculpture is the work of many.
And everyone showed up to meet the moment, and everyone did their part. And so it's kind of amazing to actually get to witness the product of thousands of people's work.
Dr. and Mrs. King first met in Boston. One of their first dates was on the Common, where the embrace of their love and shared values now stands.
It already feels kind of timeless. It feels like it belongs there already.
More than 1,000 people were here as the Embrace was unveiled for the first time. It stands in the 1965 Freedom Plaza here in the Common.
So there you have it. That is the Embrace statue out there in Boston. Man, oh man. So, okay. So I had to give you that context so you understand what's going on. So if you happen to go to Boston and you go past this place and you're like, hey, what is this right here? This big 20-foot, 24-foot tall statue of arms and hands and fingers. Like, what is going on? And if you see it from a certain angle, it looks a little bit different. You don't know what's going on there. So now you have the information. The sculpture itself is not very appealing. Shout out to everybody that made it happen and actually put it together, because I know these things take a lot of time and effort. He said there were thousands who were involved with it. I don't necessarily doubt him about that, because all that construction, it takes a lot. But I have questions. First of all, how much did this cost? Was it taxpayer money? Was it private investment? A combination of both? First thing. Second thing, why couldn't it just not be so abstract? It could have been a statue of them in that picture. Why must it be so abstract? A lot of this modern art, it sucks. You guys may or may not know about me. I'm an artist, like an actual visual artist. I don't rap or nothing like that. I don't sing, but I'm an actual painter, sculptor, like that type of thing. I can do all of that kind of stuff. I kind of left that world go a long time ago. And a big part of the reason why I let it go is because of how pretentious it is. A lot of art you see, it's really bad. It sucks. But that's the kind of art that gets praised in the art world. It's so weird. It's weird. People might get mad at me for saying this, like an artist like Jean-Michel Basquiat. I mean, that art right there was terrible. That's kind of like the art that people praise. They praise it for specific reasons, not because it's beautiful, not because it's visually appealing. That's really what's going on here. And I think it's that right there, what you just saw, is an example of this. It's not because it's beautiful. It's not because we really like the way the sculpture looks, because it looks crazy, depending upon the angle. And if you're going to do a sculpture like that, you got to think about how is it going to look from different angles, okay? Straight on, you might see maybe the embrace if you understand the context behind it. But if you don't understand the context and you see it from afar in the weird angle, it's going to look like something else. All that should be thought about before you place a sculpture into place while you're designing it. All the possibilities, all the way it's going to be perceived and how it's going to look. But again, people don't really care about the beauty of the thing, the way a thing actually looks, if it's visually appealing, if it's going to be an eyesore or not. They think about what's behind it. Okay, it's about race. It's about civil rights, Martin Luther King Jr. It's about protecting strong black women. They don't care what kind of sculpture they put right there, as long as the reason behind it is good enough. Because if the reason behind it was not about race and all that kind of stuff, they would call it'd be considered trash. So that's the whole thing. A lot of the art world is very pretentious. A lot of ugly art getting passed off as classic and beautiful. It's really ridiculous. This right here is not a good sculpture. The idea behind it is great. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's wrong to, support people in love and married and all that. I ain't going to talk about the philandering, but that's a different story. It's a good idea behind it. It's a good message behind it. But what else? Is that all? If that's all we got, then we really don't have much. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Did you enjoy that statue? You think it looks good? Would you want to go past that, take pictures in front of it? Would you want to have something like that in your house, like a miniature version of it, put it on your desk? So your kids come in there saying, hey, daddy, what's this? And like, look, son, that is a beautiful sculpture. But what is it? Looks like a little doo-doo. But whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys should know where I'm at. That sculpture is not appealing, not at all, to the eye. And that's the most important thing when it comes to art for me. How does it look? Does it look good? Is it beautiful? Is it appealing? Does it inspire? It doesn't really do any of that for me. The idea behind it is great, but the actual execution, the physical appearance of it is horrendous. And when you see it from a certain angle, it looks really crazy. It looks like it shouldn't even really be available for consumption of kids under the age of 18. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.